If you've been following our channel for a while now, you know that this fall I installed these two 300 amp hour lithium batteries from Epoch. Now, I absolutely love these things. They have built-in heaters, they have built-in low temp, high temp shutoff, and more importantly, they actually communicate directly with our Victron system, and I'm in love with it. But I'm not the only person running these Epoch batteries. Currently, we're staying at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort for the holidays, and friends of ours are camping just a few sites down. They too are running Epoch batteries. However, not the 300 amp hour, so I thought let's walk down there and have them show us exactly what batteries they're running and how they hooked it up in their system. Jonathan from Tree Talker the Traveler, and we're going to take a look at your Brinkley, right?
Right.
You're running Epoch batteries, but not the same Epoch batteries that we are.
Right. I'm running the Marine 460 amp hour batteries. I've got two of them. Contemplating putting in a third. But here, I'll just bring you over and show you.
All right. Let's go take a look at your setup. And you actually installed everything yourself.
I did, and we're not done yet. I'm going to clean up some of the wires a little bit more. And I'm going to install our screen inside. I just haven't got around to doing that yet.
I'm going to come around this side so we can take a look and you can show us your setup. So, all right, so how many, you just said, how many amp hours are your batteries?
Right, these are 460 amp hours rated each, but they're actually have quite a bit more than that. So when you look on here, you can kind of find out that they actually, they seem to, Epoch, sorry.
I know, that's a great debate. Is it Epic or is it Epoch? Yeah.
So Epoch, actually, it seems that they really rate their batteries well. So you always seem to have more available capacity than what they sell you, so they make sure you're getting what you pay for.
All right. So you've got quite a bit more power than we do, because we have two 300 amp hours, so we're at 600. You're at like 9... Something, yeah. And you're thinking about adding a third.
I'm thinking about adding a third.
All right. Now, let me take a look here. Do you have little displays on your batteries on top? No.
No, we have a switch here, which turns them on and off.
Okay, we have that. It's different looking, but we do have an on-off switch. We just have a little monitor, like, with green lights to let us know the rough charge.
Right, and I actually have... And I just haven't mounted it anywhere. It's part of our harness that comes with the kit with a little monitor here. And I will probably going to mount this one facing the other way so I can see it when I'm in the other bay.
All right.
And then this will be mounted up in the house somewhere.
All right. Well, why don't you go through your whole system real quick and show us what you've got in here.
Sure. I switched out what came with it for a different solar controller so I can add more solar on top. I haven't done that yet, but this is a little bigger solar controller.
That thing looks huge compared to ours. So how much solar do you actually have currently?
I just have one panel up top. Can't remember exactly what it is.
Okay.
So I got whatever came with it from Brinkley. I think it's around 360 amp hours.
And this is a Brinkley...
360 watts.
What? I forget your model number. Brinkley.
It's a Brinkley 3610, Z3610. Almost forgot that too.
Like 41, almost 40.
It's almost 42 feet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so close to 42 feet, I just say 42 feet.
It means you got a lot of room for solar then.
Well, we've got some room for solar, and we'll be adding those panels, I think, this spring.
Okay.
So I had to do it in phases.
Right. This is not a cheap setup.
It's not. So for me, the difference is here that I've done builds in the past, a little bit difference, is I'm using the Lynx shunt here, where I've used the smart shunt in the past.
Right.
I really like the smart shunt because it has the Bluetooth feature.
Yeah.
But this one communicates through our Serbo GX.
And the Serbo is the display screen.
Right. The Serbo then sends all the information to the display screen.
Right. Which some people install inside their RV.
Right. And which we will do.
Yeah. We're kind of in the same boat. Ours is still in the front bay and needs to get moved someplace. But I'm kind of like you, though. I actually like that smart shunt where I can just...
I do, too.
Yeah, I may add that back onto ours. Okay, so we only have one Lynx box. Looks like you have
what I've done is
two distributions.
This is the power in.
Okay.
This one's the power out.
Gotcha. So you've separated it.
Separated them. And this will make it really easy when I throw that extra battery in here. I just have to go up and hook it to this bus bar.
Okay.
Instead of having the batteries wired together,
all right,
I have each battery separately wired to the shunt. So if I turn one of these batteries off, it'll work. The system won't even know that I've done that. It'll be fine.
I like that. That's different than the way Myron wired ours. Ours are wired together and then into the Lynx distribution.
Right. And this is just one way to do it. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. It's just a different way to do it.
But I think this is good to show people there are different ways. All right.
Yep. In my last setup, I had them wired, the batteries wired up together and then wired in. And I had run into an issue where I had one bad battery, and I had to take apart the whole
What
cell
were your old batteries?
They were Battleborn.
Okay, you had been running Battleborn prior to Epoch.
Right, and the Battleborns were good. I liked the Battleborn, but they were really expensive. They didn't have near the features that we have with the Epoch. This is really night or day. I got an app built in on this one, so I could check it on the app.
Yep.
Like I said, it has the Bluetooth app. It also has the communication, so the batteries themselves are plugged into my servo.
Okay.
So the batteries, BMS, and the servo are talking into each other to make sure you get optimal settings and charges. So it takes care of all that for you.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And then in addition, just kind of know what I've got going on here. This is a brand new addition. This is the 50 amp DC to DC charger. Now some people stack 2 or 3 of these in here. For right now I just have one, and this allows me to charge off my car alternator while we go down the road. For me, that's probably even more important than adding another solar panel,
right?
Because we do a lot of like Harvest Host or Cracker Barrel, so we'll pull into a Harvest Host, spend the night, we'll use quite a bit of electricity, battery power, and then the next day we'll pull off down the road. And by the time we get to our next campsite, this will have been pumping it off our car alternator full power. So,
and the nice thing about that is, unlike the solar where you need sun,
right,
you could be completely clouded over all day during your drive and still putting juice back in.
And we have the solar on top too.
Right.
It's not all right now. So in theory, I can be bringing in through solar and the DC to DC. So whichever's working best.
Right. So. And then over here. Is that the same one we're running?
It should be. All right.
The 3,000 watt multi-plus 2, and you're just running a single one right now.
I'm just running a single one. I am set up where I can add a second one fairly easy, and it would have to be mounted instead of up or down. It'd be mounted across the top of it.
Okay, up here.
Right.
And why would somebody run 2?
Well, in theory, if you're running 2 big air conditioners, then if you're really trying to power a full 50 amp and run 2 or more air conditioners, then they say you need 2 of them. Now, what we have in this Brinkley, it came with one of the air conditioners came in. It works kind of like a mini split. It's not a mini split, but it kind of works very low efficiency. It takes very little draw, and then I have soft starts on the other air conditioners, and I have tested it. I can run all 3.
You can run all three off of this multi-plus 2.
But I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Can and should are 2 different things.
Right.
But I think I feel fairly safe running 2.
Okay.
So the front house one and one of the bedroom, either the bunk room or the main bedroom.
Have you ran the AC then with the batteries?
Yes.
I mean, for real, not just like a test, but
We've pulled over at stops where we needed, air conditioning for a few hours, and we've run it for 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
Without any issues.
No issues.
No issues.
Okay.
But you want to watch your batteries. You don't want to turn on the air conditioners, forget about it, and then wake up the next day with no battery power. So.
And then I really like what you did with that blue channeling, I guess, to kind of hide your wires. And is that an actual Victron product? Because it seems to...
No.
It just happens to match perfectly.
It happens is kind of... I went on, I found it's Raceway. And it's made for running wires in lots of different applications. And I actually bought 3 different boxes of different blues. And picked the one that was the closest to the Victron and sent the others back.
I was going to say, because it just looks like it all goes together and really kind of cleans that up in here.
Yeah, and I've got some more Raceway. I'm going to clean up. These wires will all be cleaned away, and adding some, and I have some covers that are going to go over some of this. And when I'm done, it'll be even a little bit more cleaner.
All right. So overall, would you say you're happy with the Epoch batteries now that you've ran both Battleborn and Epoch?
I'm thrilled with them. They're solid. I mean, if you look at the casing on this thing, it's great. They're actually accessible. So if you ever had a problem with your BMS or anything, which you know is the brains and heart of the battery, you could get to it. But I mean, these things are solid. They're waterproof. They're just solid. Now, one of the things, as people are looking at, I don't have covers yet, but those are on order, so I'll have covers over the positive fittings.
And did Epoch give you these batteries as like an influencer, or?
No, I wish they would.
Yeah.
Epoch, if you're listening, send me some batteries. We can fill the bay up. No, I bought these after tons and tons of research, talking to people who run them. Lots of time on the forum, I picked these out and bought them.
All right. Yeah. And I brought that up because I knew you had paid for them, and a lot of people know that we did receive ours from Epoch. And so, but I knew you had paid full price, and you're still just as happy as I am with mine. Yeah.
Thrilled. Though, if Epoch, if you're watching this, if you want to send me
another one, yeah.
But they're a great
shameless
value.
plug.
Shameless plug. But they're a great value. I mean, I don't think you could go wrong.
Yeah. I am just absolutely thrilled with ours so far. And again, ours are a little different than yours, which is great because Epoch does have different sizing depending on your needs. So, I mean, you don't have to go with these big batteries like we did. If you just need a couple 100 amp hours, they'll have those for you too.
And I'm telling you right now, if you are new to RVing and you bought your RV and you have, they come with a lead acid battery normally in there. I think the first thing I would do would drop a lithium battery in. And if you just got one of these batteries is a lot of power.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a great way to start, and then you can always add a second or a third one, within that first year with no problem.
Right.
If you decide you need the power.
And the nice thing today is most RVs, I think probably all RVs today, are coming with the converters that can run both the lead acid, the AGM, and the lithium.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the first time we ever went lithium, I had to change out the whole converter. And so it was a big process and more expensive. But today you can just go ahead and order you a lithium and drop it in. And usually there's a toggle switch to switch your converter.
And matter of fact, when I first got this, I was sitting at Happy Acres Campground, and I pulled out the lead acid. I only had this one, and I installed the one battery off the converter that came with the rig. I didn't have any of this set. I had it all purchased, but I didn't set it up. Plug and play.
Yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, I remember when you arrived and you said, "I'm going to change out a battery today," and I thought you were nuts right there on. You weren't even in the campground yet. You had a harvest hosted in the parking lot. And that's how easy it was.
Simple to do it. If you were asking me what's the first thing I would do if I bought a new RV, it'd be switch over to a quality lithium battery like these.
I totally agree.
All the difference in the world.
They're maintenance free. You don't have to worry about running them too low because they'll protect themselves. You get the full when it says it's 100 amp hour, let's say you get a full 100 amp hours, where lead acid, if it's 100 amp hours, you can really only use 50 safely.
Or you'll ruin the battery.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it makes life so much easier. Yeah. And you don't have to vent them.
No, that's true.
So you could, if you really wanted, you could have this sitting under your bed or somewhere else in the camper, and it's perfectly safe.
Yep, I've seen setups like that, so... Well, Jonathan, I really appreciate you taking time out of your vacation over the holidays to kind of run through it. Yeah. All right, everyone. If you have any questions, drop them down below in the comments section. And make sure you check out Jonathan's channel, Tree Talker the Traveler, here on YouTube. And until next time, we'll see ya
on down the road.
Bye, everybody.
Travels with the lady. We'll see you on down the road.